Hi, Chris Godinez, licensed professional counselor, also the host of We Need to Talk on every Sunday here on YouTube, and then I post it over to Facebook. This video is for educational and informational purposes only. If you feel you need a therapist, please go to Google, type in therapy, your city, Psychology Today will pop up, click on that, and it will have all of the therapists in your area. Also, the views and opinions stated herein are mine and mine alone. They do not represent the ACA, the APA, or any other goddamn therapist for that matter. Thanks for playing. All right, so a couple of things I wanted to get out of the way. So I am going on tour. I am going to be in California, and the dates are, where are they? Oh, dear Lord, I had them. All right, February 2nd is going to be San Diego. February 3rd is going to be Irvine. February 4th is going to be Santa Monica. February 6th is Santa Barbara. February 7th is San Luis Obispo. February 8th is San Jose. February 10th is San Francisco. February 12th is Sacramento. Then in March, I am going to be in Louisiana. I am going to be in New Orleans on March 22nd. If you're in the Louisiana area, or if you know anybody in the California areas that would benefit from coming and seeing a live lecture from me, this would be a great opportunity for them to get their questions answered in a safe environment where the abusers are not going to be. So if you know somebody that would benefit from this, do that. Also, we have the cruise coming up in December. And again, with all of these, spaces are limited, guys. So if you're going to sign up for it, I would suggest you do it now so that you make sure you get a seat, okay? All right, so there is that. If you are interested in signing up for any of these, it is Eventbrite. You can search for Chris Godinez, or you can go to Mercury, Murcuri. Okay, Eventbrite, Mercury, Eventbrite, Chris Godinez, Mercury, that will bring it up, Murcuri. So anyway, those are the dates, and I'm super excited because I am so looking forward to meeting you guys, and I am so excited to help you guys with whatever questions you have on domestic violence and abuse so that you can get out of it or you can maintain staying out of it. Which brings me to today's topic. Okay, hi everybody, goodness. Okay, so today's topic is healing the inner child. So originally I titled it raising the inner child, but that is kind of healing the inner child. So it's really a lot of inner child work. So here's the deal. The inner child is what keeps us stuck. So when people ask me all the time, it's like, why did I keep going back? Why do I keep contacting my abuser? Why do I keep contacting this person who keeps hurting me? Why do I keep doing that? Well, okay, on average, it takes about 7 times of leaving before it sticks, okay? So that means 50% of the people, it takes way longer than 7 times. 50% of the people, it takes less than 7 times. So the average is 7 times. Why? Why do we keep going back? Why do we keep going to a well that is dry? Or why do we keep going to a well that is not only dry, but probably has salt and possibly arsenic in it? You know, it's like, why do we keep going back? Okay, so the way I want to explain this is, and this is true of whether your relationship was with a romantic partner, whether this relationship was with a parent, whether this relationship is with an abusive boss, you know, or a toxic friend or whatever. So wrap your heads around this. Most of us, not all of us, but most of us who get involved in toxic relationships were groomed to do so by the original wound, the original caregivers, okay? They groomed us to be codependent, okay? So some people who get into relationships are definitely groomed by a dysfunctional family situation. Other people who get into an abusive relationship simply are very empathic, and they fall for the mirroring. They fall for the love bombing, that kind of thing. So it's you know, kind of a little from column A, a little from column B. So what happens is, and why is inner child work important? Because I keep pushing this and everybody's like, I don't get it. What is the inner child? Speak more about this. Okay. The inner child is the age that we are at when the abuse originally occurred. So think of it this way. We have a family of origin. Let's say that there was abuse, neglect, harm, you know, something went sideways, and we ended up being the caregiver for those parents. We ended up being the adult. And I can't tell you the number of times people sit on my couch and go, I'm the only freaking adult in there. It's like, here I am, the kid, kid being the adult child of, abusers. I'm the only adult here. These guys are acting like they're 2-year-olds. Well, yeah. And they have put off the responsibility for their well-being onto their child. So we end up becoming codependent. Our well-being depends on them being okay. And guess what? They're never effing okay, ever. So we kill ourselves, essentially, trying to make them okay, trying to make them okay, trying to make them okay. Well, fast forward a few years, okay? Now what we're doing is so think of it this way. When we're babies, the first people that we fall in love with are our parents, okay? They are our imago for who we will eventually date if we're not careful, okay? If they're healthy, that's great. If they're not, this is where we get screwed up. So what ends up happening is fast forward a few years and we go out dating, right? And what we tend to do is we tend to date whoever reminds us of the most difficult parent. I know. Trust me. I know. I have told you stories. So in fact, I forgot to mention this. At the lectures, I will be giving these books away. When I run out of this one, I'm going to be giving cups away. So there you go. But in this book, I dated people that reminded me of both my mom and my dad. It's like separately. They didn't at the same time. They didn't remind me of my mom and my dad. But one reminded me of my dad and the other one reminded me of my mom. I was like, what the hell am I doing? So what we do is, and the reason why is because we tend to date somebody who reminds us of the difficult parent, okay, the family of origin. So what ends up happening is it's that inner child. So at whatever age we got harmed, at whatever age we got stuck because of what our family of origin said or did, because, abuse is not what everybody thinks it is. Everybody thinks that when I'm talking about abuse, I'm talking about men exclusively. No, I'm not. And then they also think that, it can't happen in this type of relationship, that type. It happens in heterosexual relationships. It happens in homosexual relationships. It happens in every kind of relationship. Abuse knows no boundaries. It doesn't know sexes. It can be straight. It can be gay. It can be male. It can be female. There's a lot of female abusers out there. So don't kid yourself. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is that we go looking for somebody who reminds us of the parent we had the most difficulty with. At whatever age we get stuck. And in our little brains, we think, not consciously, this is it's not like we wake up in the morning and go, wow, I'd really like to date my mom. That would be awesome. What we do is we go, if I can make this person love me, who reminded me of mom, dad, caregiver, whoever, grandparent, whatever, then this proves this parent wrong. It's not even conscious. It is so not even conscious. Seriously, if we were conscious of that thought, we'd never do it in the first place because we would go, what? No, incorrect response, so we wouldn't even do that. So it's an unconscious thing. And we're trying to fix this relationship. We're trying to prove this parent wrong. We're trying to show them, no, I am lovable and I can make somebody love me who's just like them. Right? That's what we do. And it's totally unconscious. So unfortunately, what it is, it's our inner child. It's our inner child. Our inner child is the one that's doing that. It's the 3-year-old. It's the 2-year-old. It's the 10-year-old. It's the 8-year-old. It's whatever age it was that we got stuck, So we're trying to fix this relationship and that will never, ever work. So let's talk about this in regards to leaving an abusive relationship. So what ends up happening is, we leave the abusive relationship. We start working on ourselves. We get healthy, but we're not quite on solid ground yet because when the abuser hooks us with an email or a text or a nasty phone call or something, we want to respond. God damn it, I need to be heard. They need to hear what they're doing to me. They've got to understand. Stop. Just stop. Please, please, for the love of God and all that's holy. Stop. So here's what's happening. How old do you feel when you're trying to reach out to the abuser? How old are you? Who is trying to reach out to the abuser? Because adult you knows that this is no bueno. Adult you goes, oh God, no, I don't want to be talking to them. But I'll tell you what, Abusers know exactly which buttons to push to get you to respond. They poke the bear, 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 poke the bear to get you to respond. And unfortunately, the one who's responding generally is our inner child. And that's what messes us up. And when I talk to clients or I talk to people in general, it's like, well, why did you reach out to them? What were you looking for? What did you think was going to happen? And inevitably, every single last one of them answers, I just want to be heard. How old are you when you're wanting to be heard? And 9 times out of 10, at that point in time, they either burst into tears or they're very quiet and then they go, I feel like I'm two. It's the inner child. It's the inner child. So here's the thing, especially when we are leaving a toxic family, okay? You're an adult, you're leaving a toxic family, right? Or you're leaving a toxic romantic relationship, or you're leaving a toxic work environment, or you're leaving a toxic friend. It really doesn't matter. I mean, families kind of have a little bit more ability to push buttons, but all of these abusers do the same thing. It's like, seriously, they have a fucking handbook. I'm not kidding you. So they push the buttons, push the buttons, push the buttons, push the buttons, stirs up the inner child. The inner child is the one who impulsively grabs the phone and starts texting back a novel of, fuckity fuck you out of the fuckity fuck, which is no bueno, because now what have you just done? You have completely and totally given them exactly what they wanted. You have given them narcissistic supply because that's what they were looking for. So here's the deal, guys. Listen to me now. Believe me later, okay? Listen to me now. They want any reaction. They can't stand being ignored. They can't. They want tears. They want anger. They want hurt. They want upset. This is not what normal people want. Normal people want quiet and peace and calm and no drama mama. You know what I'm saying? But abusers want upset and anger and hurt and sadness. And why did you do this? And how come you're not listening to me? And you know what they do when they read your response? I kid you the fuck not. They get that smirk. They get that narcissistic smirk. I just got to her. I just got to him. I'm in their head. They love that shit, guys. They do. You've got to stop giving them narcissistic supply. You do, but I'll tell you what, the person who is responding is not adult you, it is the kid you. The kid who didn't get heard, the kid who wasn't respected, the kid who wasn't listened to, the kid who was ignored, the kid who was abused, the kid who was put down, the kid who was told they weren't good enough, the kid who was fill in the blank, right? So when an abuser hoovers, okay, when they do the nasty, and especially in, guys, I will be answering questions in just a minute. I wanted to get this out first, and then we're going to start going to questions, but not quite yet. So hang on just a second. Hang with me. I will get to all your questions. Hang on. Well, most of the questions. Anyway, when an abuser hoovers, okay, especially if you're in the middle of a nasty, contentious, high conflict divorce, they are going to be poking the bear, 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 poking the bear. It is imperative you do not effing respond unless it has to do with the divorce or the kids. Period. They're looking for that. And especially you do not get on the phone with them. You get everything in writing. Why? Because they're going to hang themselves in front of the judge, basically, because when you present with all of the, hey, here's all the text messages I've gotten, here's my response, nothing, and it shows that they're harassing you, that they are unreasonable, that they are trying to poke the bear, and that they're the problem and you're not. Seriously, it really is psychological warfare when you get into a divorce with one of these cretins. It really is. So, or you're leaving a boss that's crazy, and the boss just keeps poking and pushing and poking and pushing and poking and pushing because they want you to, I don't know, quit. They want you to not, they want to screw you over as best you can. You cannot allow your emotions to rule you when you are dealing with an abuser of any kind. And if it's a toxic friend, they do the same thing so that they have ammunition to run back to the flying monkeys. Remember the flying monkeys? They're the ones that go around and badmouth you. So what you want to do is you want to maintain radio silence unless you have to. Unless you have to talk to them. And in which case, you keep it abso-fucking-lutely professional, okay? So when I am giving advice to people dealing with a high conflict divorce, I tell them, you talk in attorney's terms. You do. dear Mr. So-and-so or dear Mrs. So-and-so, thank you for your email as dated as blah, 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 and your concern of blah, 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 blah. Here's my solution to this. I thank you for your kind consideration in this matter. I remain, and then you signed your name. No emotion. Not dear Bob, you jackass. How come you sent me this email about the kids and then you slammed me for this, that, and the other thing? And how dare you? And don't you see what a piece of shit you are? And blah, blah, blah. No, people. No, you don't do that. But I'll tell you who wants to do that is the little kid. So, okay. So what's going on is, and especially if it's a parent, okay? So parents are great at pushing our buttons. Why? Because they're the motherfuckers that installed them in the first fucking place. So they know exactly which buttons to push, right? And so then that stirs up the inner child, and the inner child goes, well, I need to be heard. I need to make dad or mom understand why I'm so angry and why I'm not talking to them and why I'm no contact. Guess what? They don't care. They don't care. If they cared, they would A, have taken your suggestion to go to therapy in the first place, B, have worked on themselves, C, worked on maintaining or building the relationship instead of flipping it around and flipping it around and making it all about you and you're the problem, you're the bad kid, and how dare you, and da 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 da. I'm sorry, but if I had children that went no contact with me, I would be taking a look at the mirror and going, what the fuck did I do? Holy shit, I better change something. Of course, then I don't think people would go no contact with me anyway, but but if they did, I would be like, okay, why? What did I do? What was my part? What is my part? So, but they never do. Abusers never, ever get introspective. They do not take a look in the mirror. They don't take responsibility for anything. So the inner child is the one that is demanding to be heard. So how do we heal that inner child? Couple of things. I'm going to suggest the book, The Inner Child Workbook by Catherine Taylor. Great workbook. Is it going to trigger you? Yes. Be prepared. Keep a journal. Do the exercises in here. And people oftentimes are like, oh my God, I don't want to do this. This is so uncomfortable. Well, yeah, it is. Working on the inner child is not going to be comfortable. It's not going to be any more comfortable than it is working on the complex post-traumatic stress disorder, because we are confronting the original wound, mom, dad, grandparents, whoever, over here, and that is scary. It's frightening. It's terrifying. I'm not going to kid you. It's terrifying because we are now going against all of that programming that the abusers gave us. Well, you're responsible for my emotions. You need to make me happy. I had you to save the marriage. What? Yeah. So people have kids for absolutely the wrong fucking reasons. They've already given them a job. And it's like, I'm sorry, they're not 18 yet. Why are you giving them a job? And especially an emotional job. Like, oh, I don't know, saving the marriage, making you happy, bitch. Really? So yeah, it's like, So it's undoing all of this trauma bonding that we have with our abuser. And it's paying attention to our inner child and raising them right. When we are in an abusive relationship, especially if it comes from grooming that we had from the family of origin, okay? And we've got this wound over here that we keep trying to fix with somebody else, and all we keep doing is making a complete shit sandwich, right? Half of a shit sandwich, half of a shit sandwich, total shit sandwich. And that's when abuse happens. So you've got to work on your inner child. So how do you start talking to your inner child? Well, there's a couple of ways you can go at it, okay? One way is to write your inner child a letter. Dear 8-year-old me, dear 6-year-old me, dear 2-year-old me. Hi, I'm going to be your mom now. I'm going to be your dad now. I'm going to be your parent now. Let's just take sex out of it. I'm going to be your parent now. Guess what? I love you, and I love you unconditionally. And I am so sorry you went through and then list out the abuse that you suffered at that age. And you reassure them and you love them unconditionally. So a healthy parent is thrilled to be with their kid, is thrilled to see their child, does not make their child responsible for their marriage, their well-being, their happiness, anything. They recognize that that child is a complete separate entity, separate from the parent. Okay, but unhealthy parents enmesh. There is no separation. So the kid becomes responsible for the parent's well-being. So when we get out of an abusive relationship, super important that we love and care for and take care of that little inner us, that little inner child inside of us that didn't get heard, that didn't get loved, that didn't get unconditional love, that got made responsible for shit that they couldn't possibly be responsible for, even if they were 19 years old. Do you see where I'm going with that? It's like you are not responsible for somebody else's happiness. You're not responsible for their marriage failing. You're not responsible for their shit. But yet they turn around and make it our problem, our fault. And that's exactly what our abusers do. Oh, it's you, it's you, it's you, it's you, it's you. And guess who gets hooked? That 3-year-old. And then when we get out of the relationship and they start pointing the finger again, the 3-year-old desperately wants to fight back and say, hear me, hear me, hear me. Well, they're never going to hear us, guys. They're never going to hear us. Get this through your head. You cannot fix them. Why? Because you didn't break them. The only person you can fix is you. So in order to be heard, write your inner child a letter. Forgive her or him for being reactive. Forgive them for not knowing how to cope with abuse. Forgive them for responding to that nasty email. But remind them that you're the one in charge. Adult me is in charge now. You get to go play and have fun. You get to be loved. You get to be re-raised to be healthy, happy, secure, good self-esteem, and play and have fun, because that's what we were meant to be. So you write yourself a letter and then you read it to yourself and you put it somewhere where you can see it, right? And you remind your inner child, it's okay. It's okay. You didn't know how to respond to abuse. The only way you knew how to respond was to fight back, and that doesn't work. So let adult me deal with it. I will protect you. I will be your protector. I will be your mom or dad or both now. And I'm going to re-raise you so that you're safe. This is also where the mirror work starts coming in, okay? So you write a letter to that. So we're going to do mirror work next. So working with the inner child, you do the mirror work. Hi! Good to see you. Oh my God. So good to see you. Have a wonderful day. This is what happy parents do when they see their kid. I don't know about you, but I can't wait to see my little great nieces and great nephews. It's like, as soon as they're awake, I'm like, let's go play. You know, it's like, it's thrilling to see them. When you've got a dysfunctional parent, what do they do to the kid? They're angry. They're pissed. They don't want to have to take care of this kid. They don't want to have to emotionally invest in this child. You know, they had the child for the wrong damn reasons, either to fix the marriage, or narcissists oftentimes will have kids so that they can connect themselves to that person for the next 18 years, or, you know, they'll have a child to prove their virility. It's like, I'm sorry, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to have a child. It really doesn't. And proving your virility means nothing, but narcissists think it does. So this is the thing that you say to yourself, is you are thrilled when you see yourself in the mirror. I can't tell you the number of people that tell me, oh my God, I hate looking in the mirror. I hate looking at myself. I hate seeing myself. Stop. You hate seeing yourself because what got reflected back to you was a funhouse mirror. And they reflected all of their negativeness and all of their nastiness and all of their viciousness and all of their fucked up dysfunctional crap. They threw their low self-esteem onto you. How fucking dare they? Fuck that shit. You don't need it. So you're going to re-raise yourself by doing the mirror work. So you look in the mirror, you make eye contact with yourself, and you go, hi. Good to see you. Have a great day. You've just programmed yourself to have a good day. Our subconscious listens to everything that we're saying, which is why it's very vitally important to tune in to what you are telling yourself on a daily basis. If this thing is mean and nasty and vicious and negative, you're going to be down on yourself all the time. And your inner child is going to be the one running the show because it's not getting its needs met. What do kids need? What do kids want? They want to be loved. They want to be loved. They want to be heard. And they want to be respected, and they want to be loved, which is basically, you know, what everybody wants. But if an inner child doesn't get that, we grow up into adults that automatically assume we're not being heard because our inner child is not being heard. So it's time to have a conversation with your inner child. And it could be different ages. You know, it could be, okay, this happened at 2, this happened at 6, this happened at 8, this happened when I was a teen, this happened, you know, and you connect with all of them and you love them and you reparent them. Okay. So when you're doing the mirror work, hi, good to see you. Have a great day. Just programmed yourself to have a good day. I give you permission to love your inner child unconditionally. I give you permission to reparent yourself. I give you permission to not respond to the abuser. I give you permission. Now, here's something to think about. Why do we respond? What's another reason why we respond? Because we've been conditioned to. If we don't respond to the abuser, what happens? They blow up our phone. They blow up our phone. They blow up our email. They threaten to come by. They do all sorts of crazy stuff because they can't stand being ignored. So you give yourself permission to not respond, or you give yourself permission to not respond for 5 hours. Lengthen it out. You don't have to respond. You are under no obligation to respond to these people. Now, here's the other thing that I see happening is that when somebody finally does go to therapy to get out of the relationship, the abuser will demand that the target of abuse tell them everything that was said in therapy. This is why therapy will not work until you're out of the abuse, unless you have gotten to the point where you can look them dead in the eye and tell them nothing. Like, oh, it was great. Oh, we worked on self-esteem. Oh, we worked on boundaries, and leave it at that. What the abuser is fishing for is seeing if you're getting strong enough to leave them. And as soon as it looks like you're getting strong enough to leave them, they will demand you stop therapy. Abso-fucking-lutely, across the board, every single time. So really, you cannot fully heal if you're still in the environment in which you are being damaged. That means if you're still with the parents that are still damaging you, like you're an adult and you've moved back, or if you're still in the workplace where the boss is damaging you, or you're still in a romantic relationship or a friendship where they are damaging you. You cannot fully heal. You can get pretty far, but I can guarantee you they will sabotage and they will try to keep you from being the best you possibly can. Hang on just a second. So, mirror work, huge. Inner Child Workbook by Catherine Taylor. Get it, work it. It's going to be uncomfortable. She asks you to do things that you would not think that you would normally be doing. So, she asks you to pull out a blanket and grab food and just play with it and see what happens. And some people are fine with that because the abuse didn't happen pre-verbally. Other people, they do that, and I get phone calls going, I'm in the fetal position. And I'm like, okay, breathe. You're okay. It's not happening right here, right now. It's okay, sweetheart. Breathe. You have a right to feel. You have a right to remember. You have a right to heal. So do you see where I'm going with that? So, all right. So those are some techniques that you can use. The writing yourself a letter, the doing the mirror work, talking to your inner child, or just talking to your inner child while you're driving in the car. Hey, 2-year-old me, I just wanted to let you know I love you and you're awesome. And thank you. And, we survived, and then just take it from there. Okay, now here's the other thing you can do. You can do guided imagery. Okay. My clients love this because I incorporate breathing with guided imagery. So in the guided imagery, okay, y'all get comfortable, get yourself someplace comfortable, make sure you're in a place that's quiet, and you go in your head and you go somewhere beautiful. And I don't care where it is. It could be a mountain. It could be by a mountain lake. It could be by a campfire. It could be by the beach. It could be in the tropics. It could be by a swimming pool. It could be in a room. It could be in a hammock. It could be anywhere where you feel 110% safe. Okay. Excuse me. Then what you're going to do is you're going to call your inner child to you. What do they look like? What are they wearing? How are they happy? Are they sad? Are they scared? Are they not sure? Then you have them come and sit on your lap. And you just love them. You just hug them and kiss them and let them know how thrilled you are to see them, how happy you are that they are in your life, and that you are going to be their parent from here on out. You are going to re-raise them, and you are going to protect them, and you're going to love them unconditionally, and you're going to give them all of the positive affirmations that they never got. And then check in with them. How do they look? How do they look when you tell them that? And then what you're going to do is go, okay, little one, what do you need from me? What do you need? What will help you grow up? What will help you be safe? What will help you become the person I know you to be? 9 times out of 10, the inner child is going to say, I need to be protected. I need to be loved. I need to play more. I need to have fun. I need to be believed. Especially if there was abuse going on in the house and the enabling parent didn't believe it. I need to be believed. So then you give your inner child whatever it is they just said they needed. I believe you. I absolutely believe you. And I have got your 6. I am watching your back. You are good to go. I love you unconditionally. I believe you. I am here for you. And no one is ever going to harm you again because I won't fucking allow it. And then you hug them and you kiss them and you give them whatever they need. And then you go, okay, little one, here's what I need from you. I need to be the one running the show. I need to be the adult. Let me make the decisions. So when mom or dad or the boss or the best friend or whoever pokes bear, 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 trying to get a response, you let me deal with it. I want you to go play. You don't have to deal with that situation. Let me deal with it. Let me protect you. And then once you agree on that, again, you hug each other, you love each other, and you send them off. And to play. And you can do this meditation at night while you're going to sleep. You can have conversations with your inner child when you're driving. You can have conversations with them while you're going to sleep, while you're doing this at night, breathing, and you just reconnect. Because there was so much non-permission in our lives, and that little one just got smushed. So you let them know they're safe to grow. They're safe. It's okay. It's okay to be you. It's okay. It's okay that you saw the abuse. It's okay that you recognized it, even though they told you, no, you don't see the pink elephant. I get it. You saw it. I got it. You validate, 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 validate. So that is why it is important to keep working on that inner child, because the inner child is the one that's doing the impulsive reaching out to the abuser. This is why it takes, on average, 7 times of us leaving before it sticks, because the inner child keeps going, well, no, 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 I need to be heard. No, 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 they've got to get it. No, 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 I have to make sure they understand that they did this to me. They don't care. They don't care. Normal people don't abuse. Normal people do not abuse. They do not harm. They do not lie. They do not cheat. They do not do any of that, but they will accuse you of all the things that they are doing. So you've got to make sure your inner child understands that you love them and that you believe them and that you're safe and that you don't have to reach out to prove anything to them. You don't. You just don't. Okie dokie smokies. That is how we deal with the inner child. And that is also why we keep going back, is because we keep trying to prove to the abuser that we're innocent, but they don't want us to be innocent. So it's a rigged jury. It's like they are the jury and the judge and the executioner, and you will never get a fair trial with them, ever. So you gotta go no contact with people like that, or you go gray rock with people like that. And people oftentimes have a hard time with that because they're like, well, the family's coming unglued now because I have gone no contact, and now they're poking the bear trying to get me to go back. Well, that's their whole point. They want you to go back so that they can have more drama. So you just maintain, radio silence. So okay, I am ready for questions. So bring them on. All right. Question: why am I more angry at myself than I am at my abusers? It makes me feel crazy because they told us to. We are hyper responsible for everything, and they make us hyper responsible for everything. So we get angry at ourselves, and we are non-loving of ourselves because that was the role model we had. They're not forgiving, they're not kind, they're not compassionate, they don't have, they're all about revenge, right? So when we make a mistake, they never let us forget it. They right there. Why did you do that? Why did you do it that way? Why? And so we internalize that, and then we get more angry at ourselves for quote unquote allowing it. Instead of going, okay, guess who's running the show? It's my inner 2-year-old. Wow, I need to love my inner 2-year-old and make sure she or he is safe so that they don't get abused. So forgive yourself. So here's a great book. There's 2 really good books. One is Radical Acceptance by Tara Brach. Great book. Love it. She's a Buddhist. The other one I love is Radical Forgiveness by Colin Tipping. Those are both really good books. Work on them. Self-compassion is everything. So another meditation you can do is, may I have peace. May I have freedom from suffering. May I have all that I need: food, shelter, companionship. May I have peace. And you do that until you become comfortable saying that. Then you move on to somebody neutral. May my grocery clerk have peace. May they have freedom from suffering. May they have all that they need: food, shelter, companionship. May they have peace. And you do that until you become comfortable with that. Then you move on to your abuser. I know, people hate this. May my abuser have peace. May my abuser have freedom from suffering. May they have all that they need: food, shelter, companionship. May they have peace, which is basically a really nice way of saying, geez Louise, I hope they figure it the fuck out in this or the next lifetime. And you let them go. You let them go. And it's all about forgiveness, guys. It's all about self-compassion. Forgiveness is not about them. It's about us. Compassion is not about them. It's about us. It's about forgiving ourselves, loving ourselves, and letting this shit go so we can go be the best us that we possibly can and help as many other people as we possibly can. So I hope that answered your question. What do I do with the feeling that I will very badly regret leaving the narc? Oh, that is common. So, okay. Think of it this way. When a narcissist comes into our life, when an abuser comes into our life, no matter what they are, whether they're a dark triad or a malignant borderline or a malignant narcissist, when they come into our life, they love bomb, love bomb, love bomb, love bomb, love bomb, love bomb, lie, 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 lie. They tell us basically that we will never find anybody again, that we're always going to be alone, that we're going to suffer and die without them. Well, the truth of the matter is we're going to suffer and die with them. So they feed us all of this gaslighting to make us feel like we are not worthy. So what I want you to do is write down your list of deal breakers. Write down every rotten thing that your abuser did to you, because y'all are taking a trip down memory lane. When you start going, oh, but they were so nice in the beginning, you've got to stop and you've got to go, yeah, they were nice in the beginning, but then they started undermining my hobbies. They started taking them over. They started pushing away all of my friends. They started trying to abuse my family and friends by proxy through me. They started making sure that I couldn't make enough money. They started, keeping me up at night, banging things around. They would scream at me in the middle of the night and tell me to get rid of my family. They would, fill in the blank. Remind yourself of all the things that they did to you. You're not going to regret it. You're not. Trust me on that one. Because here's the deal. A healthy, happy, normal life, healthy, happy, normal relationships do not have fear, being screamed at in the middle of the night, things banged around, obligation, get rid of your children or I won't love you. And they do that too. Guilt, you don't spend enough time with me. Why are you at work all the time? Why are you talking to Roger at work all the time? You're having an affair with them, aren't you? Sound familiar? It does not have fear. It does not have obligation. It does not have guilt. Okay. It does not have abuse. If it hurts, it ain't love. And if it's hurting, it's abuse. And if it's abuse, get the fuck out. You won't regret it. That means that you need to work on your self-esteem, because there's some part of you that's going, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. If I leave this, what's out here? So it's almost like a case of better the devil you know than the devil you don't. But guess what? The devil you don't is better than the devil you know. So you got to work on yourself. Got to work on self-esteem. Got to work on boundaries. So you want to work on self-esteem with the Self-Esteem Workbook by Glenn Schiraldi. And you also want to get The Disease to Please by Harriet Breaker and work on boundaries and work on you. Work on you. You are worthy of having a healthy, happy, and whole relationship. And healthy, happy, and whole relationships do not have fear, do not have obligation, do not have guilt, which is otherwise known as the fog. So there, I hope that answered that question. And get with a good therapist. Get with a good therapist and start working on all of this so that you can get free and really have fun and really be you and be, live to your potential. Live to your potential. Be the most authentic you possibly can. Do it. Okay, what do I do if you don't remember what caused the original wound? Well, you work on self-esteem then, and you look to where your self-esteem is weak. That's the original wound. We learn our self-esteem by listening to our caregivers. So if our caregivers are constantly saying, you're stupid, you're worthless, you're this, you're that, it's your fault, it's your fault, it's your fault. Well, that's your original wound right there. If you can't look at yourself in the mirror and make eye contact and be like, hi, good to see you, have a good day, I give you permission to like yourself. If you can't do that, we're looking at your original wound. We're looking at how they damaged you in the first place. Everything goes back to self-esteem. And it's so funny because when I tell my clients this, they're like, what? And I'm like, yes, everything goes back to self-esteem. People with good self-esteem would no more put up with abuse than, than you would put up with, something gross in chocolate, like, chocolate covered, grasshoppers. At least I wouldn't. So the point I'm trying to make is if you have good self-esteem, you won't put up with chocolate covered grasshoppers, otherwise known as abusers. You would. Some people may like that, but I just don't like chocolate covered grasshoppers. Anyway, the point being is you don't put up with abuse because you like yourself. You have good self-esteem and you know your likes and you know your dislikes, and you don't let somebody come in and change you. So I posted a meme earlier this week that said, Good self-esteem does not mean that automatically everyone's going to treat you well. What it does mean is that you will recognize when somebody is not, and you won't put up with it. That's what a self-esteem is. It's not other esteem. It's not other people telling you you're great. It's that voice inside your head going, hey, I like you. Hey, good job. Hey, you fucked up. Okay, make amends. Okay, good, you did. Okay, forgive yourself, move on. That's self-esteem. Oh, this person's not treating you very well. Abort, 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 get out, avoid, avoid, avoid. That's self-esteem. That's self-respect. And that's self-love. And that's what people don't understand is that self-esteem, self-love, and self-respect, all the same. It's all the same. You respect yourself. You don't put up with crap. You do not. Okay. Is it really possible to heal from these wounds? How can I act to best ensure I recover after abuse? Yes, it is possible to heal from these wounds. If you have read this book, I talk about my incredibly abusive father. He used to hit me. He would call me all sorts of names. I got told I was the cute one, not the smart one, and all of this stuff. And this is what this book is about. He was an alcoholic. He was an opiate addict, and he was abusive as all shit. So yeah, you absolutely can heal from this. Absolutely. And I dated abusers. I did. I dated people that I should not have been dating. But because my inner child was running the show, I was desperate to prove this parent wrong. So I would date somebody that reminded me just exactly like him. And it was a disaster. And it wasn't until I started lying on the couch and tell me about your mother and your father that I started getting better, because I started working through the original wound. I started working through, where did that low self-esteem come from? Where did I get that message that, oh my gosh, I'm not very smart? Where did I get that message? Oh, you're not worthy. Where did I get that message? See where I'm going with that? So you do the work. You do the work. And it takes work, guys. It's not like a one and done. And it's not like you do it and you're never triggered ever again. No, I still get triggered. I think I talked about this a couple of weeks ago. If I have a narcissistic male who's screaming at me in my face, on the inside, I am probably going, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit. On the outside, I'm like, bring it, motherfucker. And that has taken years of that practicing that calm. But yeah, I'll still get triggered if somebody reminds me of my dad. You bet. He was an abusive son of a bitch, and he scared the fucking hell out of me. He had pan-sized hands. I mean, like huge. He was 6'5" and 250 pounds, and he had huge hands, and he loved to use those hands to hit. So yeah, I do get nervous when I get around somebody who looks like they're out of control and might possibly hit me. You bet. But with work, I can maintain that cool. So anyway, yeah, you can heal. You absolutely can. So it does take work. It absolutely takes work. So the best way to ensure that you recover after abuse is you do the work. You work on the self-esteem. The Self-Esteem Workbook by Sheralda. You get with a good therapist. You start hitting all of the trauma bonding. So remember, abusers bond us to them with trauma. So they'll hit, and this is what my dad did too. They'll hit, and then they'll come back and be, comfort, which is trauma bonding. That's really sick, but that's what trauma bonds us to our abuser. Or they'll say something nice. Well, I really do love you, and you shouldn't make me angry. Wow. How fucked up is that? So yeah, do you see where I'm going with that? That's all trauma bonding. That's all trauma. I did this for your own good. Oh, fuck. Yeah, it's our fault that we got hit from an adult when we're a kid. Fuck that shit. Do you see where I'm going with that? So you work on that stuff. You work on those crazy messages. You recognize them for the insanity that they were. You recognize them that it's not you, it's them. It's them, it's them, it's them. Healthy, normal adults do not pummel their children. They do not make sexual advances towards them. They do not say inappropriate things. They do not. Do you see where I'm going with that? So you work through and you separate what is yours, what is theirs, what is yours, what is theirs, what is yours, what is theirs. And you find out that 99.9999999% of it was theirs. Does that make sense? So work on that. Yes, you can recover. Get with a good therapist. Work on somebody with the trauma bonding. Work on somebody with the trauma. So EMDR is great for that. EFT is great for that. DBT is great for that. CBT is great for that. Just find somebody who understands trauma and can help you through it. So, and work on yourself and be diligent. Be diligent. It's like you can't slack on this. It's just like it's like when you're working anything else. If you're working a workout program, you can't slack on it. You got to be diligent. You got to keep doing it. You got to maintain. You got to keep going. Does that make sense? Mentally, same thing. You keep working on yourself. Does it get easier? Yeah, it does. Are you still going to get triggered? Occasionally, you will. But it's kind of like It's kind of like a spiral. So it's like down here, it feels like, oh my God, this is too much. But then as you keep going up the spiral, it gets easier and easier and slower, and less, shorter and shorter and shorter. So it does take time. It does, but don't give up on yourself, and don't sell yourself short. Don't settle. Don't settle. You deserve to be healthy, happy, and whole. Get with a good therapist, work on yourself. Okay, I hope that answered the question. All right, I have a very bad relationship with my narc father, and my boyfriend's narc father does not like me. How do I get over the feeling that no older adult male father figure will ever love me? Again, get with a good therapist. Get with a good therapist and start separating things out. What is you? What is them? What is you? What is them? Because what we tend to do with the codependency is we take on their issues. They don't like us. Well, let's take a look at why. I posted a meme about that too. People tend not to like people who see them for the piece of shit abuser they are. They don't. And when they realize you see them for the piece of shit abuser that they are, then what they do is they then try to smear you, make you the bad guy, turn it around, be vicious, be mean, be cruel. So, it's going to be working on self-esteem. Again, I keep saying everything goes back to self-esteem and working on the inner child. Your inner child got damaged. Okay. That's why you keep looking for older male approval. Been there, done that. So work on the inner child. Get with a good therapist and do it. Do it. You're worth your own time, love, and attention. You are. You can heal you. You cannot fix anybody else. And think about this. You cannot heal anyone who is unwilling to put down that which makes them sick. So when somebody is in an unhealthy relationship, and everybody sees they're in an unhealthy relationship, you cannot force them to be healthy. They have got, just like an addict, because it's the same damn thing. We are addicted to the intermittent positive rewards. So until the intermittent positive rewards are so painful and so awful that we finally go, oh my God, I have to get my ego out of the way. I'm wrong. This person is abusive. Oh my gosh, I need to fix myself. There's nothing you can do to help them. You can just let them know you're there. And, they may have slammed the door shut, but you just let them know, hey, you may have slammed the door shut, dude or dudette, but you know what? It's not locked. It's not locked. When you're ready, I'm here. So that's all you can do. So you work on yourself, you work on the inner child, you work on the self-esteem, and you work on boundaries, and realize that you must approve of you. You don't need older male approval. You need you approval. You need to reparent yourself. Give yourself the love and the approval that you did not get as a child. Do it. And then don't put up with abuse from anybody. If either your dad or the boyfriend's dad starts being disrespectful, you get up and you leave. There is nothing on the face of this planet that says you have to sit there and take it. So respect yourself enough to not put up with it. Does that make sense? All right. How do I stop obsessing about the good times, the sex, and the intermittent positive reward? My ex is seeing someone and giving them all of that now. Again, you write out what they did to you. What they did to you. Was there fear? Was there obligation? Was there guilt? If there was, it was a dysfunctional, unhappy relationship. And those little good times do not outweigh what they did to you, because that's not okay to abuse somebody. Sex, there is no sex on the face of the planet that's that good. And especially if they're a narcissist. They may be physically able to do the sexual act, but intimacy-wise, they're not there. They're not there. They're not there. So what you want to do is you want to write out all of the rotten things they ever did to you. And now you do a list of deal breakers. What will you not fucking put up with? Why did you put up with it in that relationship? Do your self-esteem. Work on the self-esteem. Do the mirror work. Let this shit go, because here's the deal. Every second you spend obsessing over your ex is a second you're not spending working on you and making yourself better. Why? Really, why? You, above everyone else on the face of this planet, are worthy of your own time, your own love, and your own attention. So do it. Spend time on you. Every time your brain starts going down memory lane and go, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, I want to think about it, and he's doing this with her, or she's doing this with him, or whatever. It's like, who cares? He's going to be abusing her soon enough. Trust me on that one. So you let it go. It's like every single time, again, it's called thought stopping. So when a thought of your abuser pops up, you either write down all the rotten things that they did to you and a list of deal breakers so you can remind yourself what you do not want, Or the thought pops up, oh, I really want Reginald back in my life. Hi, Reginald. You know what? No, I don't. And neither does my inner child. She thinks she does, or he thinks he does. But you know what? I really don't. I'm just going to send you down the road now. Bye-bye. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye. 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 Right when you get work. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. And you don't entertain it. You don't entertain it. It's like, no, I do not want Reginald. Why? Or Regina. Regina or Reginald. Either one of those. Why? Because they were abusive pieces of shit. That's why. I am better than that. I am more worthy of a healthy, happy relationship. And I refuse to spend one more second on these fucking assholes. Take your power back. Take your power back. Okay. Where are we going? Okay. If I take more than a few minutes to respond to my mom, she blows up my phone saying, answer me. I'm worried about you. Oh, God. How do I best respond to a fogging parent? Okay. So, yeah, just like they have trained us to be dysfunctional, you're going to have to train them. Let her blow up your phone. Let her blow up your phone. And what you do is you wait longer and longer and longer. And what you can do is when you're not having one of these conversations with them, you're going to tell them, Mom, there are times when I'm not going to be able to respond for an hour. You need to stop. You're blowing up my phone. It's obsessive. I'm not playing this game anymore. So I'm letting you know when you do that, I'm not going to respond. It's going to take me 3 times as long to respond because I'm not playing your game anymore, period. And if they continue to do it, guess what? Bye-bye. Gray rock, no contact. Gray rock, no contact. So when you're dealing with a crazy parent, and this parent has no boundaries, does not respect the word no, blows up the phone, does this whole, I'm worried about you. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? So think of it this way. All right. People with a high level of anxiety are the ones that blow up phones. They're the ones that immediately imagine the worst case scenario, or they use the excuse, oh my gosh, I'm just worried about you. Why haven't you responded? You were asking me about groceries. Why are you worried? So it's inappropriate to the situation, which says to me, disordered, dysfunctional. So what you do is you gray rock them. It's like if they start blowing up your phone, you don't fucking respond. You don't. Now, is that going to send them into a tizzy? Yeah, it is. Are you responsible? No, you're not. You're not. Hello. You're not responsible for their well-being. And you can give them a warning and say, look, Mom, Dad, whoever's doing this, I am not going to respond when you blow up my phone. If it takes me more than, 4 or 5 hours to answer your text, unless it's something that's urgent, stop blowing up my phone. And if you blow up my phone, I'm going to intentionally not respond. You let them know there's going to be a consequence. There's going to be a consequence. So you let them know that. And then if they still disrespect it, you start going no contact. If you were not related to these people, would you have anything to do with them? If the answer to that is no, act accordingly. And this is where the inner child comes in, because the inner child pops up and goes, no, I need a mom, I need a dad, I need a mom, I need a dad. Okay, guess what? You're going to be your own mom and dad. You're going to be your own mom and dad. You're going to be the mom and dad you wished you'd always had. You're going to be loving. You're going to be unconditional. You're going to be there for them. You're going to protect their back, because these people never will. You will. Be your own mom and dad. Okay. Hope that answered the question. I have a close friend that was abused by his mother and now keeps putting up with cheating and other behaviors from his girlfriend. Is there anything I can do to help him? So this kind of goes along with what I had just said about the intermittent positive rewards. You can tell them that they are worthy of a better relationship. You can encourage them to go to counseling, but if they're in an abusive relationship, it is unlikely that they will go. You can tell them to read all of the books. They may or may not do it. It's crazy. It's like it's like the joke. I'm sure I've told this joke. I'm going to tell it again because it's a good one. So there's a flood and there's a man and he's standing in ankle deep water and, or knee deep water, and a rowboat comes by and says, hey, get into the rowboat. I'll save you. And the guy goes, no, brother, I'm waiting for Jesus to save me. So the water keeps rising, and the guy in the rowboat goes off to save other people. The water keeps rising, and then pretty soon, it's up to like his waist. And then, a fireman comes by, and he's got a rope, and he's like, here, take the rope. I'll pull you out of the ravine. No, brother, I'm waiting for Jesus to save me, right? So the fireman goes, well, fine, I got other people to save. So he goes off and he saves other people. So pretty soon the water, he's up in a tree, and the water is like right here, and a helicopter comes by, and they drop down a ladder, and they go, grab the ladder, we'll save you. And he says, brother, I'm waiting for Jesus to save me, right? And so the helicopter goes off. Well, the man drowns. So he dies, and he goes up to heaven, and St. Peter meets him at the gate, and he's mad, angry, viciously angry. I need to speak to Jesus right away. And St. Peter goes, oh, yeah, you're on the list. Okay, well, let's go find him. They go walking back through, and there's a golf course, and Jesus is hitting the, 18 holes with Moses. And he goes up to Jesus, and he's like, Jesus, you let me die. How could you let me die? I was waiting for you to save me. And Jesus looks at him and says, look, motherfucker, I sent you a rowboat, I sent you a guy with a rope, and I sent you a helicopter. What more do you want? So what the moral of that story is you have to save yourself. You have to be willing to take the help offered. I can give books to people all the time. I can offer suggestions all the time, but if they don't run with it, they're never going to get better. And it's funny because I have had in the past clients be like, well, I'm not getting better. And I'm looking at them and I'm like, are you doing the self-esteem workbook? Are you doing the mirror work? How are you writing the letters? Are you journaling? Are you working on stuff in between office visits? Well, no. Okay, well, last time I checked, you're not going to get stuff by osmosis. So you've got to help yourself. And the problem of it is that when we have somebody who is a close friend who is in an abusive relationship, they're in the fog. They are literally cannot see 5 seconds in front of them because they've got the fear, they've got the obligation, they've got the guilt, and they are being run by the inner child at whatever age that damage occurred. And if it was a severe enough trauma, it may be too frightening for them to even look at that damage, which keeps them stuck in an abusive relationship because they keep desperately trying to fix this original wound with this other person outside, shit sandwich, and they can't get out and they can't get free of it because they can't see it or they don't want to see it. So you can only help the willing. Again, I can't remember if it was Atticus or Socrates, but one of them said, you cannot help people that are unwilling to put down that which makes them sick. You can't. When they're ready to get help, again, you let them know. You may have slammed the door in my face, but guess what? The door's still unlocked. You can walk through at any point, and that's all you can do. So unfortunately, there is such a thing as free will, and some people choose to stay in misery for the rest of their lives. Why? Ego, fear, inner child, unwilling to confront the mom or the dad. Yeah, it's scary stuff. I'll tell you what, my hat is off to every single survivor who has picked up this book and started working on the inner child, because this is heavy duty, serious, scary work. It is. And, there's a lot of people that just can't do it. They just can't. They won't. It's a matter more of won't than can't. And it really takes bravery to confront our inner demons. It takes bravery to confront our inner wounds. It takes bravery to confront that parent was not the parent we needed or wanted, that parent didn't give us unconditional love. No, they didn't love us. No, parents who do love you don't allow abuse. They don't turn a blind eye to it. They don't. Do you see where I'm going with that? It's really scary to have to go, holy shit, I basically was raised by feral wolves, and I've had to re-raise myself. It is scary. And some people, it's too much and they can't confront it, or they won't confront it because they're afraid that if they confront it, they'll die. That's how big the fear is. That's why I'm saying get with a good therapist, work on the original trauma bonding, which was with mom or dad or both. So there that is. I hope that answered the question. So basically, you can lead, hold on. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him cha-cha. This is my book on why some people stay in abuse and others don't. And it's the fear. It's fear. It is always fear and low self-esteem that keep people stuck in the cycle of abuse. Always, 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 always. And in order to get out of the cycle of abuse, you have got to start working on self-esteem, which means you've got to start loving yourself even when you were a small child, all the way up. So re-raising yourself, absolutely. I hope that answered the question. Are money issues relevant in leaving or just an excuse to stay in the drama? Well, money does make the world go round, to be sure. But here's the thing. Hang on a second. I'm running out of fuel here. Hang on. Okay, here's the deal. I have had people tell me, oh, no, I can't leave the money. Oh, I can't leave the money. I can't leave the money. Well, are you socking money away? Do you have a separate account that you can squirrel away money? Because when you leave, you're going to need rent money, you're going to need food money, and you're going to need money for an attorney if you're married and if there are kids involved. If there is abuse to the point where you are fearful for your life, there is not an amount in the world that is worth staying for. You know, and people are like, oh my gosh, I can't go. I've got animals. Okay, guess what? There are places, no-kill shelters you can surrender your animals to. There are rescues that are set up specifically for people in the middle of some sort of domestic violence thing where people can foster the pet and you get your pet back when you are in a stable position. So money issues are relevant, yes, and I see them used as an excuse to stay in abuse. Abso-freaking-lutely. If you know, without a doubt, that you need to be leaving, you need to start squirreling away money. You do, in a separate account that they know nothing about, okay? In a bank that they don't bank at. So that you have your own funds to do that. And if you can't do that, this is when you start reaching out to shelters. This is when you start reaching out to the Fresh Start Women's Resource Center, and you start looking for resources, okay? You never stay in abuse, ever, 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 for any reason. So yes, you need money to live, absolutely, but that's never a reason to stay, ever. Okay, I hope that answered the question. Okay, we are coming up on 1 o'clock and I'm going to stop now. So anyway, I just wanted to say thank you to everybody. I hope that this video was helpful to everyone. I know that this has been a question for a lot of people. So please do take care of your inner child. Do take care of yourself. Do get with a good therapist and work on the inner child and the self-esteem and the boundaries. That always boils down to self-esteem and boundaries. So take very, very good care of yourselves. Remember, if you're going to go to the California lecture series, space is limited. I strongly suggest you sign up now so that you make sure you get a seat. And we are doing the cruise in December. We are taking reservations for that as well. Go to Eventbrite, Mercury, M-U-R-C-U-R-I. I think that's it. Oh dear. When I feel, wait. There's couple more questions. What do I do when I see a parent abuser and my heart goes all soft and happy, but my mind says, take care. Can we love them but still be a gray rock? Yeah, absolutely. Just because you're gray rocking them does not mean you don't love them. You can still love somebody from afar, okay? And will the rates for the cruise be posted on Eventbrite? We should have the rates up in a month or so. We are still working on the pricing. So there we go. Okay, that's it. Have a great day. I will talk to you guys later. Be good to each other and work on yourselves. Where the heck am I going? There we are. Okay, bye.